Homer, not Mr. Simpson, relates the story of a princess playing ball with her handmaidens in 800 BC in the Odyssey, showing that women have been interested in sports since forever. At Immaculata, girls basketball emerged in 1967, complete with jumpers, bloomers, pennies, and player movement restrictions, which was consistent with the game at that time. Women's sports began to change in the 70s. For Immaculata, class of 1975 Cindy Fischer was literally a game changer. She was our school's first star female athlete, reaching the milestone of being the first Spartan ever to top the 1,000-point marker, long before the three-point shot was introduced. She graduated 5 years before the revolutionary federal legislation of Title IX, which significantly impacted funding, scholarships, coverage, and recognition of women's sports forever. Cindy played varsity basketball for 4 years and served as captain during her senior year. In her Spartan career, Cindy played point guard, shooting guard, and forward. The Spartans were blessed with a core of key starters who were together for 3 years. They included Donna Lang, Donna Cooper, Beth Cole, Pam Ochin, and Cindy. What great camaraderie they had playing together for 3 seasons at Immaculata. Besides basketball, Cindy was a catcher for the softball team, student council rep, and prom queen. Next, Cindy went to play at Immaculata College, one of the premier women's basketball schools in the nation. She described it as a humbling and motivating experience, surrounded by so many great players. At UNM, Cindy said playing in the huge stadium at home was exhilarating. UNM had a great crowd following, and they traveled within the conference all over the western states. While Cindy started at some games there, her best position was as the 6th player. Coming off the bench, she gave a great spark to her team. Her success as a high school and college athlete built great business skills. So when Cindy was ready to hang up her sneakers for a corporate career, she felt the lessons of hard work, perseverance, and teamwork helped her to be successful.
Kelly Jo Morgan will present Cindy's award. If both of you would please come up.
Good evening, everyone. Carl, can I hit you up from some orthopedic help a little bit later? Good evening, everyone. It's been quite a while since I spoke in front of an audience. I'll do my best, though, to channel my inner IBM presentation mode. I'd first like to thank the committee for inducting me into this esteemed group. A shout out to my brother Brian, class of '78, for nominating me. I want to congratulate the fellow inductees and look forward to learning even more about you this evening. Special shout out to the '87 Girls Championship team. And finally, much appreciation to my family for attending tonight. I really appreciate it. I honestly can't remember why or when I ever first picked up a basketball. I remember being 8 years old and listening to Princeton games on my transistor radio. For those under 50, Google it. In thinking about how I must have started, I must acknowledge the impact and the influence that my parents contributed to any success I had in sport. My father was a huge sports fan. He played football on scholarship at Wesleyan University in the early 50s. On most Saturday and Sundays, you can find him in front of the television, watching college and professional sports, respectively. He really enjoyed it. He yelled at the TV. I remember Pete Maravich from LSU shooting lights out. I remember Jabbar and Walt Frazier. From my dad, I got a love of sport, a strong work ethic, and a couple of athletic genes. At some point, he even installed a basketball hoop on the back of our garage. My mother, on the other hand, could not be less interested in sport or less genetically athletic. But she gave me perhaps a more valuable gift. My mother, as any of you who were in my class and around in my house knew, was very strict. There was always a litany of things I was forbidden to do. But she always gave me a sense that there was nothing I couldn't do if I applied my mind and worked at it. Also, she gave me the wanderlust gene. I played CYO at ICS, 3 or 4 years, can't remember. We played girls' rules basketball, 6-on-6. Only 2 players could go across the center line, so we basically played 4-on-4. I was called a rover. I couldn't wait to get to IHS so I could play the game I'd watched on TV all those years. I loved basketball. I practiced summer, winter, shovel the snow, heat up the ball. Played with anyone I could find. I played with the kids from the other side of the tracks at the park. I played and I practiced and I practiced. My freshman year, I think we had like 10 games. As the years went on, we played more and more games against mostly other parochial high schools. My parents rarely attended the games. Dad worked, Mom ran the house, and frankly had no interest. Whatever. So I was shocked in my senior year, they appeared at an away game at St. Peter's in New Brunswick. I had no idea why. Unbeknownst to me, someone had decided to add up my point totals and figured I was out kind of close to 1,000 and invited my parents to the game. No one in the gym was surprised when, after I scored a basket, the ref stopped the game except for me. They gave me the ball and announced I had reached the 1,000-point milestone. I remember thinking, who cares? We're losing the game. Let's get on with it. I think we barely won that game. As my bio indicated, I next attended Immaculata College. Now it's university for my freshman year. At the time, IC had won 3 AIAW basketball championships. I wanted to play with the best, and I did. Other than summer basketball camps, I had never seen girls play like these girls could play. This was the 70s. Okay, time warp. Title IX was muddled in the courts. The NC2A for women didn't exist. There was no cable, no ESPN, no digital, nothing. So my first pickup game at Immaculata College was both humbling and exhilarating. Comparatively, I stunk. But I knew I could learn so much, and I did. The next summer, I worked at Hall of Fame coach Kathy Rush's basketball camps, and I met and played with passionate and talented women from college around the U.S. who also were counselors. 2 from the University of New Mexico were on scholarship. We became friends. They said they could get me a scholarship. So in the late summer of '76, I packed up a rented Buick with my bike, my guitar, my basketball, a CB radio, and drove sight unseen to Albuquerque, New Mexico. The wanderlust gene I had received from my mom had finally gotten a taste. I love New Mexico. Clean air, sun-drenched skies, mountains, and a slower pace. We had a good team and went to the conference playoffs each year. We had to travel a lot to play games. Through UNM basketball and my subsequent assistant coaching position at the University of San Diego, I played ball in 15 states, saw the Northern Lights in Anchorage, played in 3 countries in both hemispheres. My basketball career ended when I was 30. I resigned from USD and decided I would enter another emerging field, computers. I got a computer technology certificate and started working at IBM. When corporate America, I spent 14 years there. When corporate America became too much, I resigned and went to school. I went to work at another startup called Whole Foods Market. Even though I no longer worked in a sports-oriented profession, I still love sport. While in San Diego, I began to run, and this is where I need you, Carl, and run, and I ran and I cycled. Into my mid-50s, I learned to play golf until my joints started to complain loudly. I love sport. I love watching basketball, men's and women's. Okay, we've come a long way, baby, on that one. I've been to college bowl games. I've been to WNBA championships. I attended World Series games. I've been to the women's basketball national championships. I'm going again in 3 weeks. I've been to the women's college softball championships, and I've been to professional golf tournaments. I love sports. I also yell at the TV like my mom, and my dad, rather. I think I appreciate sport for all the things that I've learned, seen, and been given because I played basketball at an early age. I learned the value of practice and hard work. I learned that I couldn't improve without the help of others. I learned how to be part of and lead a team. And I discovered that other girls and women were as passionate about sports as I was, and it was okay. I learned self-discipline. I learned how to get up after I was knocked down, and I learned that I had limitations. I met amazing, amazing people, saw beautiful places. I learned how to sleep in vans, in buses, and airports. And I had successful, relatively, professional endeavors. And I attribute that reasonably successful, arrest-free life to three things. A family gave me a foundation to stand on my own, a great, great education, and sport. I thank you for listening.